Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you're listening to us from this very evening from here. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, because this is the most listened to radio broadcast coming out of Africa. It is received in every time zone across the face of this very earth. This is a live presentation on this very day, the 1st of April, in the year of our Most High Elohim, 2020. It may have been April Fool's Day, but we are not fooling around here. Everything we tell you is the truth. Every allegation that we tender is verifiable. Every word that we utter, any statement that we make is provable. That is why our enemies go crazy anytime we are live on air. That is why our enemies go insane anytime we are transmitting to the entirety of humanity, because mankind is listening to Radio Biafra. I welcome each and every one of you. And as I do so, I will also ask you to welcome those who are around you. If you have relatives, you must bring them closer. If you have people who are discerning enough, who are intelligent enough, you must also bring them closer, because we are propagating the gospel of heaven, the gospel of redemption, the gospel of hope, the gospel of restoration, the gospel of de-amalgamation, the gospel that will lead us into life and not into death, the gospel that will usher in light where once there was inescapable darkness. That is what we represent, the hope of 70 million people scattered all over the world, abandoned by the damnable zoological republic. They steal from us. They extract every mineral resource from Biafra land that sustain the very fraudulent edifice of what somebody called the British supermarket. We are here to bring all of that nonsense to an end. And we state very categorically and unequivocally that Biafra must be restored in our time, because this is a project ordained in heaven and executed on this very earth by the children of men. Therefore, I will ask you to tell those around you, especially those in Iguacha, that we are not on our FM tonight. They can listen via my page on Facebook. They can listen via our app. They can also receive us via satellite and whatever other platform that they wish to listen to us on. Not on FM tonight in Iguacha only. Every other place we are transmitting seamlessly. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra all over the world, and by the very special grace of Chukwukika Biama Prumiyanin, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. Before we proceed, as it is our tradition and our custom here, we must dedicate, or should I say, hand over our proceedings to the Almighty, invisible, Alpha and Omega, beginning and the end, the creator of everything that you see around you, that which existed before existence came to exist. We must pray, and I'm going to pray a very simple Psalm of David. A very simple Psalm of David. Because humanity have seen pestilence in the past, COVID-19 will come and it will pass. We will tell our children and our grandchildren about it, and it will be recorded as a phase in human history when a pestilence came and threatened to wipe out humanity. But this very God that we worship is ever faithful, ever kind, ever loving, and ever forgiving. Therefore, we will, as always, dedicate all that we are unto Elohim and ask him to have mercy upon our lives. This evening, we are going to pray. You can join if your scripture is beside you. We are praying Psalm 23 that we are taught even in our elementary school. They taught us how to pray Psalm 23. This very version of the Bible did not come from Europe. It did not come from Europe, please. Not minding that they attached New Testament to it. I am reading from the ancient book. I am reading from the Torah, from where every other religion on this very earth sprang up from. The same thing that was being preached by our ancestors in Arochukwu before the British came. That is what I am reading out to the hearing of humanity this very evening as an offering to heaven. That is the language of heaven for those who do not understand it. The language of the ancients, the very oldest language on the face of the earth. This evening we shall praise Elohim. We shall worship him. Chineke nna bụ n'igwe bụ onye na-azụ anyị dịka atụrụ. Ọ dịghị ihe kọrọ anyị. Ebe ịta nri nke ahịhịa ndụ ọ na-eme ka anyị makpụrụ n'akụkụ mmiri nke izu ike. Ọ na-edu anyị nwayọọ. Ọ na-eweghachi mkpụrụ obi anyị. Ọ na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume n'ihi aha ya ọzọ. Agbanyeghị na anyị onwe anyị na-aga na ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ. Anyị agaghị atụ egwu ihe ọjọọ ọbụla. N'ihi na gị onwe gị bụ Chineke nna nke bi n'igwe Chukwu okike abịama. Ị nọnyere anyị, mere gị na mpalaka gị gị onwe gị na-akasi anyị obi. Ibupụtawo ebe oriri n'ịhụnanya ndị na-akpagbu anyị. Itewe isi anyị mmanụ. Iko anyị wee jupụta n'oge n'ihi amara gị. Ọ bụ naanị ịma mma gị na ebere gị ga-agbasi anyị ụbọchị niile n'ime ndụ anyị. Anyị ga-ebikwa n'ala nke ndị dị ndụ. Ma akpa isi ala nye gị n'ihu oche eze gị, ebe anyị ga-anọ wee jaa gị ma fee gị site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise, ise, ise. Those who understand that very language will understand its deep meaning and implication for what we are passing through. If you like, you can recite it in English language. It is a very powerful prayer, for in times of difficulties like this, the Lord is our shepherd, will always guide us through. By that Lord, I mean the one and only creator, indivisible God in heaven. Only one God, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, only one. That is the God that we pray to here. That is the God that our ancestors worshipped in Arochukwu and many other places. That is the God that Israel worships. That is the same God of Abraham, the same God of Joseph, that same God of Moshe, the same God of Jacob, the same God of Eri, from where Umweri and Aguleri, the progenitors of the entire Biafran race, came from. I welcome you. We must proceed very hastily. There is a lot of hunger in our land as a result of the very understandable restrictions imposed in order to combat this very deadly pestilence, highly contagious, highly infectious coronavirus, or they call it COVID-19. It is a very careful balancing act that we must maintain. We are not here to ask any government for help because we are the chosen children of God in heaven. We represent the light in the very dark and primitive continent of Africa. As I proceed this very evening, those of you listening on Radio Biafra page, the authentic Radio Biafra page, you know that Facebook is in the habit of frustrating or restricting the number of people that can listen via that very platform. Should you be tossed out by Facebook, you can always go to my page or you resort to Radio Biafra app. We are on tuning as well as satellite for those of you that have access to that very digital platform. Hunger is killing our people, and very soon people are bound to protest. People are bound to rise up. I don't know if anybody saw a footage of that burning helicopter. I don't know if people have actually acquainted themselves to the very terrible and harrowing pictures of people jumping out of the Twin Towers, the World Trade Center during the 9/11 terrorist attack. Rather than people stay there and be consumed by the fire, they leapt, some of them, from the 100th floor of that very building to their certain death. They knew they were going to die, but they still jumped out of the building. The same thing happened in this very clip that I saw a few days ago of people jumping out of a flaming helicopter. Rather than be burnt in the helicopter, they jumped out. The same thing applies to hunger. Rather than people stay in and die of starvation, they will come out to scavenge for what to eat. That is a human instinct, or should I even say an animalistic instinct that no one can curtail. Therefore, the rulers of the Zoological Republic, those that call themselves politicians, those that reside in Aso Rock, ruling with deception, those that call themselves governors, your senators, your House of Reps, and assembly members and councillors put together. There is a ticking time bomb. Unless something is done to address the ravaging hunger in the land that you people had nearly 60 years to put in place but failed to do so. Ordinary Malaysia that used to come to Biafra land to learn how to propagate, or should I say, to learn how to plant palm trees using palm fruit. They are well prepared. Every other part of the world is well prepared. I am warning everybody this very evening, it could be your morning or your afternoon or your night, depending on where you are, that when the United Nations World Health Organization and the Bill Gates Foundation predict that there will be over 10 million people dead in Africa, perhaps not through entirely coronavirus, but due to the negligence, the duplicitousness, and the wickedness of political leaders. Maybe this very coronavirus will usher in a wave of public rebellion in Africa to put us on the same par with the rest of the world. Every part of the world where you have development today, ordinary people rose up in anger to challenge those in authority that made their lives hell. You must understand this very carefully. And also the politicians who are listening, because the whole world listens to Radio Biafra. I said the whole world. Everybody. Some hide under the rug, under the carpet. They are listening. Some claim and they tell their wives, oh, they are doing prayer online with one apostle or one evangelist with their headphones and they listen to Radio Biafra. That I can assure you. The whole world is listening, and this very evening they are listening in their droves. And we are warning them that hunger is killing people. And I would not wish we Biafrans to go through the same thing we suffered during the war, which is what the zoo is planning for us. That is why they've not made any provisions for us. That is why there is no testing center where we come from. Of course, we'll do something about that. I'll mention that later on as we proceed. We are also aware, I am aware that the initial 50 million we allocated to tackle this very menace is only a very tiny drop in a mighty ocean. So as a nation, I mean the nation of Biafra, forget about your politicians. They will not come to save us. The more of us that die, the better for them. The more they use hunger and intimidation to strike fear in our soul so we can never rise up again to ask questions, the more they will continue to do it. The more they will continue to do it. But as a nation, as a people together, looking out for one another, watching out for each other, we are going to come out of this very mess with minimal loss of life, because the life of every Biafran is important. Very, very important. As I alluded to in the post that I made earlier today on my page on Facebook, or maybe I think that was yesterday or thereabout. That was yesterday. We IPOB family across Biafra land, we have begun the very critical task of engaging our doctors, our nurses, and other healthcare professionals, readying them for what is to come. Our prayer is that this COVID-19 coronavirus will not be as devastating or as deadly as it's proved to be in Asia and in Europe. We are hoping and praying. They said that this very virus cannot thrive in temperatures above 28 degrees centigrade. And recently it's been raining a lot and everywhere has been very cold. So I don't know if those that brought this very virus knew the season to bring it. I don't know. I'm only speculating. But now I understand that Biafra land is slightly cooler than normal. Therefore, we must do all that we can. This is not the time to get very parochial. This is not the time for selfishness. This is not the time for people to only think about themselves and their families. This is the time where we must all think together as a whole unit, as a collective of people with a common enemy, and be able to save as many lives as we can. Our preparation has to be multifaceted, as we've been trying to do. And for us to survive this very pandemic, it is no longer an epidemic, it is a pandemic. We must adopt a siege mentality. We must see that our lives are threatened, that our communities are threatened, our livelihoods are threatened, our way of life is threatened, and above all, that our beloved nation, Biafra, is also threatened. Because as I said earlier, we have been abandoned. And what do I mean by that? We must look at each other as an extension of our own very self. No, I know it's very difficult to do. We are Republicans. We are highly individualistic. Our orientation in terms of economy is laissez-faire capitalism. There is nothing to be ashamed of in that. we know that we as a people respond more to demand and supply than any other people in Africa. The market is what determines what the price is going to be. We know all of that, but we are living in a very dangerous time. That if we apply the same strategy we use when there is perhaps, say, fuel scarcity or any other scarcity of a rare commodity, then we will all be doomed. We must change our mindset. We know that other things have gone up as well in terms of market price. We know that dollar has risen against the naira. We know all of that. But we are in a war with an invisible enemy on two fronts, actually. One is an invisible enemy and the other one is visible. The reason why they have not extended any testing centers to Biafra land is because they want us all to die. The reason why they have not granted or allocated any money towards providing food for the people is because they want us to die. You must understand this. You are dealing with people that want you dead. You must understand it. One is the coronavirus, the other one is the Nigerian state. It doesn't matter if you live in Lagos, you live in Abuja, it doesn't matter. The same thing applies. And I must also remind those that live in Lagos and in Abuja, please stay where you are. Do not go into Biafra land, please. Wherever you are, you must remain there, please. Unless your trip is essential. You must remain where you are, or else you will carry it from there and you will bring it into Biafra land, and we cannot cope. People with advanced healthcare systems, like the USA and Britain and Spain and Italy, they are struggling. Not to talk of Biafra land and surrounding nations, that we don't know what a first-class hospital looks like. We don't know what a well-equipped ICU unit looks like, where there is no electricity to even power the so-called ventilators or respirators, as they call them. There's no light. And very soon there'll be no petrol. So those relying on generators in hospitals to be able to even power ordinary ventilator will be disappointed because people will die. Once you're placed on a ventilator and there is no more electricity, that's the end of you. We must try as much as possible to slow this infection down. It is our collective responsibility and individual duty to ensure that we do everything humanly possible to slow this very virus down. Because those that wish us death are plentiful. There are many. There are many. We don't know what this very virus has in store for humanity, or what those that created it, if what we are being told is actually correct. We don't know what they have in mind for Africa. They've been saying that Africa is overpopulated for a very long time. You must remember that they gave us HIV/AIDS. They even went as far as infecting South African women. The AIDS virus, the virus, the HIV that causes AIDS, they put them in the tampons of women. They are part of the sanitary towel. That was why you had so much infections in South Africa. They claimed it was through, should I say, uncontrolled sexual intercourse or transmission via sexual contact. That is a lie. For the simple reason that there was this very actor, I think he acted in Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe. That is why sometimes it's very good to watch movies. Marilyn Monroe, one of the biggest actors of all time. There's this very famous actor in Hollywood. His name is Rock Hudson. Some of you may know him. Rock Hudson. Rock is R-O-C-K, like a rock. And Hudson is H, like River Hudson. Hudson. Remember that name. He died of HIV before anybody knew what HIV was. He was a Hollywood superstar. He died of HIV before anybody had an inkling what HIV was. But they claimed it came from a monkey in Africa. Because of that, they used it to justify the infection of Africans at a very alarming rate. But luckily, As with most things in life, the body fought back. And the body is actually winning that very battle. Take it about another 26 years. And the body will be able to have enough immune system to resist the HIV/AIDS virus. But that is in the future, not now. If you get it now, things will happen to you if you don't get help. But that is no longer a death sentence. What I'm trying to say is that they brought also Ebola. Remember? And before that, God knows, SARS, of many different viruses. Where these things are coming from, nobody knows. But it will keep coming. Because there are those that wish to see the number of Africans on this very earth reduced at a very alarming rate. And that's what they're trying to do. We must not allow them to succeed. All the alarm bells from the UN, from Gates Foundation, from World Health Organization leads me to believe that something major will happen in Africa. But remember that this same coronavirus you have today in China was also predicted by Bill Gates, his foundation. When Bill Gates says that what they're doing is to prepare the mind of the world that 10 million Africans will die. That's what they're trying to do. And when they're thinking of reducing the population of Africa, they will go to the place they claim is the most populous country in Africa, and that is the zoo. And when it comes to the zoo, you know what's going to happen? So we must be very, very careful and take extraordinary measures, even those being implemented by the now various tiers of governance across Biafra land and Africa at large. Please, very, very critical that you observe social distancing, that you wash your hands more regularly. That is far more effective than using a gel, using the, the hand sanitizer rubbish. It's good in some instances if you're traveling, but as soon as you come across water and soap, you must wash your hands as many times as possible during the day. Not the type that Jubilee is doing in the basement of a hotel in Cuba. I'll come to that later. With a gold tap. They wash hand basin in a nightclub in the basement of a hotel in Cuba that they're snapping and posting never video, always pictures, never videos. And people don't ask why, but we'll get to Jubilee later on. For us to function as a nation and emerge from this pandemic, Biafrans must indeed, not just in words, be our brother's keeper, because there's going to be hunger and we are going to share what we have. The food that we have, we are going to share it. This is not the time for selfishness. This is not the time to say it is me and my family alone. Because if hunger drives anybody to go outside looking for something and they become contaminated, they will bring it back into the community and the entire place will be ravaged. We have no hospitals. Don't forget that. We have none. People are now saying, oh, we have this traditional medicine that can cure it. I'm not saying it won't cure it. But they say prevention is better than cure. If a lot of people come down with this, say 1 million people in Biafra land, even the traditional medicine will also be overwhelmed and many will die. And we don't want that. We must be very, very careful. All our communities in Biafra land must function as one entity, as one body. We must help each other because a lot of people will die if we don't. Don't say I did not warn you. We must be selfless. We must be concerned about our next door neighbor. We must be concerned about what people are eating. We must be concerned about the welfare of other people. This is not the time for any form of criminality because you can go and become infected yourself. Well, you have got to go and steal. There will be no stealing. There will be no hoarding of any goods or commodities. We must work together as a people to overcome this. All the hiking of prices makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever because this pandemic is worldwide. It makes no sense to be selling at exorbitant prices way above the market rate. It doesn't make any sense. It means you're very evil. It means you're wicked. I respect the fact that demand drives supply. That's what it does. So if there is scarcity of commodity, many people will want it, and if they want it, the only thing that happens is that the prices will go up. But there is no need because we are in a state of war. The rest of the zoo, they are fighting only one enemy, which is coronavirus. But we in Biafra land, we have two enemies, two. This coronavirus and the Nigerian space, should I say the Janja with the Fulani run Nigerian government. They want us dead. We are not going to allow them. Now is the time for us to gel together as one people. Demonstrate the same type of love that we used to have 60 years ago. The same camaraderie, the same togetherness that gave rise to the Igbo unions of this world. The same togetherness that made it possible for Ken Saro-Wiwa to come to Government College Umuahia for his education. The same togetherness that made Dr. Eyoita the head of government in Enugu. Eyoita, from Efik, the present Calabar you have, Dr. Eyoita was the head of government in Enugu. After gallivanting in the West and they kicked him out, Nnamdi Kanu came and ruined everything by asking Eyoita to leave, to give him a political power base from which to relaunch his career. Eyoita went back now to Calabar, and I was told the ethics that, can you see Igbos are dominating, they chased you away. Whereas in the North, they brought a Christian go on. Can you imagine that? All the Al-Majri you have in the North, glorified ones, of course, they are all Muslims. They are conquering and killing minorities today, but will you believe that they gave power to a Christian to go on in order to win their hearts over against Biafran people? But Nnamdi Azikiwe came to Enugu and decided to send home Eyoeta, and that is what they have against Igbo people to this very day. That is why they will dominate everything because of that incident. Not minding that the same Fulani have sacked Onogen, the same Fulani sacked who is the DSS director that they sacked, the same Fulani they killed Ken Saro-Wiwa. The same Fulani killed Adakaboro. They don't have anything against, or should I say, our southern brethren don't have anything against the Fulani that killed people. But because Nnamdi Azikiwe asked Eyoeta to go back, that is why we are in the mess we are in today. We must not repeat that mistake. Never, ever, ever are we going to. We must be one and be seen to be one. Once that person is a Biafran, I expect the entire structure of IPOB to be at the disposal of our people in terms of organizing food and making sure that we identify hunger hotspots. Because right now, some people are writing to their, texting their state coordinators, saying, oh, where is that money? Onyendu promised us. He promised money on air. Where is it? You have it. Give us our money. We cannot afford to have such lousy mentality. That is not how we survive as a people. The money that we have voted, or should I say set aside to fight coronavirus, will go to hospitals, will go to the new testing center that we have identified to make sure that they have relevant diagnostic equipment to be able to tell us if we are corona positive or negative, as the case may be. It will go into feeding people who are in their need. That's what we're going to do. We need to be able to look out for each other. If we do not do it, we will perish. Understand it. Every country, even as ravenously capitalist as US is, they practice I think the cruelest form of laissez-faire economics. They are bonding together, Democrats and Republicans together to vote in, or to vote through, should I say, 2 trillion economic relief package. These are people that would not normally see it eye to eye. These are people that if you tell Democrats you're going to give 15 billion to Boeing, the aircraft maker, they will rather die. But they had to concede. They allowed it to go through because workers were also benefiting from it. We must act as one unit. This is not the time for envy, for jealousy, for pettiness. Now is the time for national survival. You have to put the interest of the survival of Biafra over and above your own petty private interest. If we don't do it, Mark, what is the time now? Because when I say it, the time now is nearly, I think it's about 18 minutes. to 8 p.m. in the evening. And today is the 1st of April. And I'm telling you this. If we do not follow these very clear cut guidelines and directives, our land will be decimated. And we do not want that. The hunger ravaging the land will be looked at, of course, and we are doing something about it, especially our children. We shall also, of course, look at the state-sponsored brutality against innocent civilians who are looking for what their families will eat. That is the cruelest form of banditry I've ever seen by the Nigerian state. They have unleashed those they call reform terrorists and bandits on poor, defenseless, innocent people. Gave uniforms to terrorists to molest those they have asked to sit at home. But what are they going to eat? Everywhere else in the world, there are key workers, they call them. Those are people that work in these markets because there must be food for people to eat. Do you understand that? Those that does the food packaging, the transportation of the food itself, those that work in the pharmaceutical industry, and health workers. There are people who are sick in the hospital, people who have to go and visit their sick relatives in the hospital. It's not everybody you see you molest and you want to kill. They have now unleashed and the funniest thing is that they don't do these things in the north. There are Islamic preachers in the north flouting all the rules and doing whatever they like. Nobody touches them. But once it is in the south, be it Yoruba or in Biafra land, all hell breaks loose. We can't afford to allow these terrorists in uniform to win. We can't allow that. Because under the guise of enforcing sit at home, our towns and our villages are being circled by Fulani extremists and terrorists. That is what is happening in our land that people do not know. That's what is happening. Very, very sad indeed. And as I said earlier, we don't have any testing center in our land. Not in Biafra land. I saw some people writing about Niger Delta people. I mean, Biafra land means everywhere. South, south, and southeast Biafra land. They will tell you, oh, but we have one in Edo. Are you saying now that Edo officially is part of Biafra? What we are saying is that they want us dead. That is why they have not provided and will never provide, never, ever, ever. Even if they announce it, there will be no testing equipment, there will be no drugs, there will be not enough anything to take care of our needs and our concerns in this very critical, trying period. We are sponsoring a new testing center in Aba. By Sunday, I will be able to announce it, how far we have gone with the proprietors in terms of granting free testing to every Biafran that needs it. Because once you're coughing and the cough is dry, you need to be tested. Once you have persistent headache you cannot explain, you need to be tested. We are working with these people, and hopefully I will announce it on Sunday how our discussions have gone. But I do hope and pray that they will agree to our terms and our conditions. We'll have it somewhere in Aba. Willing. People say, oh, now, somebody actually wrote to me and said, with all due respect, sir, Abba Kyari's whereabouts should be the list of our, you see people who don't understand. Who are the people that caused the mess that you're in? Who are the people that made it possible for you to go out to look for something to eat? They have not provided for you, and the police and the army are brutalizing and killing people for going to look for something to eat? And you actually talk about the criminals who are responsible? What type of brain do you people have? I keep asking. I will talk about Abba Kyari. I have talked about our starvation and what we're trying to do to alleviate it. I have talked about our medical predicament in terms of testing and preparedness and what we are trying to do. I'm not the one giving money to federal government of Nigeria. There are Biafran sons who have given money to Nigerian government. And that's when Nigerian government came out to announce that there will be nothing in the East. There's nothing for us. And when I say now, they say, oh, he's insulting people. But I can't understand. Tomorrow, the idiot will come and say, oh, our people, we are together. Oh, we Biafrans. Let's try and move forward. Even those that I used to have respect for, they gave money to a government they know can never, ever invest a dime in our land. They take our oil, they take our gas, they impoverish us on top of that. after struggling and working very hard to build yourself up as a man, you now give money to the same government. And you're telling me that we are normal. Of course we are not. And I will be speaking to one or two of them to let them know how we feel. I'm not asking you to give money to IPOB. We're not doing anything with your stupid money. Give that money, organize people. That is Red Cross in Biafra land. We have Red Cross. Look for some people, you yourselves, you can organize doctors, you can fund a clinic, you can fund a testing center. We have millionaires all over the place. They claim 1 millionaire can fund a testing center. We can replicate what IPOB is trying to do in Aba everywhere across Biafra land. You have done something. Not to take 1 billion and give to people that hate you, people that kill you, people that take your land. Unbelievable. We will talk about Tabakiari because they are liars. We are exposing them. That is where somebody will answer a Biafran name. Maybe Ene Okon, and say, please, sir, stop talking about Jubril and Buhari or Abakiari. We know who you are. You are not a Biafran. You answer a Biafran name to give us the impression that somehow you're concerned about Biafra. No, we'll talk about and expose those making our life a misery because they are liars. They are liars, and we'll keep on exposing them to let the world know that everything we say on Radio Biafra is correct. And there's a new trick they now have, a brand new trick. Once you publish a video, clear video of the brutality of Nigerian army and police, no, it happened in Angola. Okay, they go, Loretta Onochie, she'll go and call the gang and say, go to Nnamdi Kanu's page and tell them this thing happened in Ghana. Somebody say, okay, this thing is happening in front of my house in 2018. But it's a lie. It happened in the zoo. These are some of the social media tricks that these criminals play on us that you do not understand. You cannot decipher it. But of course, we're very intelligent, we know. If you ask them, okay, give us the date this thing happened near your house in Ghana, they can never give you. No, leave her. It's not my house. It's fake news. They're carrying fake news. It's not my house. It's in Ghana. They go and bring all, they pay people. There's a company in Israel that they paid to be providing them with all these avatars, all these fake names, and be publishing rubbish. Something in Russia. They have them. 2 of them. This is from the social media department in Asarok. What they do is once Vanguard publishes anything that is pro-Biafra, they go there, it's a Biafra, it's a scam. And you ask them, can you tell us one person that Biafrans have scammed before? They cannot tell you. Can you tell us how agitating for freedom is a fraud? They can't tell you. When you ask them, does it mean that when Azikiwe, Awolowo, and Tafawa Balewa were fighting for the zoo to become decolonized, we are there for class? They can't answer you. You ask them, so does it mean that what Mandela was doing was a fraud? They cannot answer. Does it mean that what Martin Luther King was doing to free his people in America is a fraud? They cannot answer. But if they keep writing, it's a scam, it's a fraud. One day they know you are black. I'm very sorry to say, the people that gave them that brain, they're Israelis. I'm sorry to say. It was Israelis that gave them that brain. They tried, but we are IPOB. We always defeat them. With all due respect. They tried with, their touts, remember? That one did not hold for maybe lasted for about a year or 2. They are what do they call us again? That we are opportunists. Remember opportunists? That one did not hold. They tried then. They are desperate for fame. They didn't work. They said Nnamdi Kanu wants money and fame. They gave me money in prison and I said to hell with all of you. They ran away. That one did not work. Then when I came out of prison, they are miscreants. The reason why they use all these words is to demoralize you, to make you feel, maybe, especially those born in Lagos and in Kanu and in Kaduna, maybe there is scam. He's not even sure, or maybe there is scam. Ask them, when is it a scam to fight for the freedom of your people? They cannot tell you. People don't know the games these animals are playing. They have multiple Facebook accounts in their thousands. That was what they were investigating Facebook over. Have you forgotten? People buy up their what's it called? Their users, the list. And from there, they cloned accounts, making it sound as if it is Americans who are concerned about one thing or the other. That was why they were saying that no tampering in elections in America. It's the same thing that they're doing, tampering in Biafra restoration. What? And I don't delete anything. Once I post something, you see them, they come. Loretta Onochie and her gang, they will come. Oh, it's a scam. It's a fraud. Oh, they can never answer if you post, they can never answer that question. You give them the picture of Buhari before he died, the picture of Jubril, and ask them, are these two people the same? They will not answer. They'll say, oh, Biafra is a scam. That's the answer. And this is the picture of or video of Buhari with Angela Merkel in Germany. This is the video of Jubril flipping through an album. If you remember, when they claim he went to Bono. And I asked Fulani Janjaweed Alamajiri, are these two people in these two videos the same person? They cannot answer. They will say, Biafra is a scam. But if you're an Efulefu, all those my mama say Abibo, you'll be taken in by it. Because there are some commentators, although they may bear Biafran names, they want to be seen to belong. They want to impress their masters. They want to be seen to be part of the Nigerian moving train so they can accommodate them. They are begging to be accommodated. Those idiots are sucked into their lies. That is why we keep exposing them. Every picture, I'll get to that later on. Let us finish this first. Let me talk about what is happening to those who are hungry. I'll come to Abakiari later and the fraud in the zoo. I will destroy them. I'll decimate them with facts and figures. They asked for the hotel and I gave it to them. Have they come back to say it is a lie? Have they ever come back to say, even to mention the Hotel Sevilla in Havana in Cuba, they are terrified of it? And they are wondering how did they even get the pictures of the inside? Because we know you people are liars. We know the way you operate. You always start with Photoshop. They begin with Photoshop. After a while, they give video and you fall for it as fools. Not all of you, because most of you are very reasonable. And as I said, of course, Facebook have gone. They started removing people from Radio Biafra. But that's what they do. Go to my page and listen. You can join us via our multitude of platforms. Also, that is what Facebook, and these Yoruba people working for Facebook. Tell me how they will see any good. Tell me how people you can be eating your own flesh. It's nothing to do with you. We are broadcasting to our people, enlightening the world. All you are doing as a Facebook worker is to go to Radio Biafra page and say, Radio Biafra is on. Nnamdi Kanu is broadcasting. Let me be removing people. That is why on Radio Biafra, even on my page, if I will post it tomorrow, between a 3-week period, 12,000 likes. On my page, they only credited 200. That is what they do. To give the world the impression that he hasn't got followers. That's what that. Who are the people doing this? In the Yoruba is doing it. I don't understand this type of people. We have tried to be friendly. I don't know what keeps pushing them towards this very evil. I don't know what is wrong with them. Of course, not all of them, but the majority of them always gravitating towards evil. I don't know why. I keep asking Yoruba people, why do you people love evil so much? We are not in a complaint. We want to be free. We are free before Lugard came. Don't you understand it? Let everybody be free on their own. If in the future we want to come together to form some kind of an alliance, then it is possible with the consent of the people, not by force. They will not understand it. All they do is to go to Facebook, be removing. I'll be broadcasting on Radio Biafra. You will see 2,000, 3,000 people. All of a sudden it's 500. Why they do it, I have no idea. Why they tamper with my broadcast, I have no idea. But they have failed. The level of horrific attacks by the army and police on civilians is uncalled for. I wrote about this. It's uncalled for. I was forced earlier today to post something on my page. And when I posted it, one of the videos said, he is now a blogger. He forgot the point I was raising. that black people appear to be very, very wicked, you know. I don't know why we are. Maybe it's something that's driving the Yoruba people. They cannot help it. They will try to be straight and nice. They can never help it. They will always gravitate towards all this, dubiousness. And I have no reason why. I have no answer to it. That's why they do it. They say I criticize them, and I say to them, when I started broadcasting on Radio Biafra, if you hear what I used to say about Igbo people, if you're an Igbo person, if you see me outside, you shoot me. Go and ask. Go and play my own. I started with my own people first. I started with them. I laid ourselves bare. And Elohim said, only those that will listen to this level of castigation and comp will get Biafra. That is why IPOB is unbreakable. You don't know that our foundation is built on self-deprecation and self-criticism. You don't understand it? That was how we started. So when I say what I'm saying about any group of people, it is the truth. It is the truth. The people that confuse the world that Jubril is Buhari, is he not Yoruba journalist? Is he not Yoruba journalist? But today, secretly, they'll be calling powerful, saying, "Oh, you people are right. Oh, what you're saying is right." Oh, but when I was saying it before, you didn't allow your envy and your jealousy to allow you to see reason. The same thing happened to our people. When we started, I said it live on air. I will not fight for Igbo national liberation. Never. I will only fight for Biafra. I said it live on air because our behavior is not good. Do you think I spare anybody? My father was a traditional ruler of my people. I am a Republican. I don't believe in monarchy. I don't. I believe that all men are born equal. I don't believe in it. That's how I am. I will come on air and I said to my father, as soon as Biafra comes, I will divide this your chair and my mother used it to cook okazi soup for me. It's a shame she's no longer around to do that. That is who we are. That is what IPOB is made up of. If you think we wallow in self-pity, you are dreaming. If you see, like our people that are selling over and above the market price, am I sparing them? Do you think I'm going to spare them? Because they are Biafrans? Of course not. I will not spare them. That is how we are. That is how Biafra is going to be. When your leader is doing very well, you praise him or her. When they do bad, you castigate them. And they won't do anything about it. That is the type of Biafra that we want. Not where you keep hiding. You see evil and you keep hiding. I can't understand it with these people. I don't understand it. Why are you removing people who are listening to radio? What has it got to do with Yoruba people? Why are you doing this? I ask. Why? They can't answer. But when bomb goes off in Akure, your eyes will open and say, "Oh, it's a bomb." But when they kill Igbo people in Ablado, you said no, it's a pipeline. Your own is bomb, our own is pipeline. And you want God to love you. No, it doesn't work that way. Change your ways. The Yoruba is a very good race. Oduduwa, very good people. As I keep saying all the time, very good people. Very good people. But there are bad eggs in Yoruba land, worse than they have in Biafra, worse than we have in Biafra land. Worse. A journalist will stand up and try to tell me that thing, Jubril, is Buhari. A human being with two functioning eyes because they gave him. Do you know how much they have offered me before? Do you know they asked me to take only the 5 states of Southeast and go, and I said no? Are you aware of that? And those who were present, they are alive till tomorrow morning. When they were offering me all this. Do you know how much they gave me? And I said no. Do you know how much they gave my parents and they said no? Do you know how many times they came to my house and offered and I said no? Are you aware of that? Because I want this very IPOB to remember for one thing. That is why I said before we came, there was none like us. Now we are here, there can never be any. And after we are forever and ever, there will be no group of people like us. Do you know why I say that? Because we are incorruptible. It doesn't matter what you say is rubbish to us. Incorruptible. Because if you go and you investigate, you look, you see how clean we are. And then you will understand. Army and police, stop killing people. Unless you're Boko Haram or you're a terrorist from the north. Stop killing civilians. They need to go and find them. So behave like human beings and not like animals. Behave like human beings for once in your useless lives. The people that you're beating civilians for, they are important. Are your children, are they better off? I want to ask all these soldiers and police that are always beating people, do you know why you're wearing the uniform you're wearing? It is to protect the masses, not to protect a politician. That's how foolish some of you are. You think because a policeman is your job to obey the Janjaweed Oga, a commissioner from Katsina, that is doing the job of his master in Abuja. Your job is to protect the people. Your job is to protect the people, not to kill them, not to beat them. You are a public servant. You're wearing that uniform to protect them. Protect. Protect. Protect them, not to kill them. Every other place in the world, you see police sharing food. You see, a hospital was completed at the Excel Center in London in 2 weeks. It is the most advanced. Listen, in 2 weeks, it is the most advanced intensive care unit anywhere in the whole world. They built it in 2 weeks at the Excel Center. Ask anybody that knows UK very well. Ask anybody that knows London very well. One stretch of it is 1 kilometer long. They built it. Do you know who built it? The British Army built it. The engineering corps of the army. Instead of the army, I don't know where they go. They say, oh, I went to Aldershot. I went to Sandhurst. Is it not the same soldiers that went to Sandhurst that built a hospital for the people? Your own, you went to Sandhurst, you went back to the zoo or to any other part of Africa, and you're beating people up. Is that what they taught you at Sandhurst military school, military academy, or at MOMS? Is that what they taught you? Some of you said, I went to Defense Academy in what's it called? West Point. I went to West Point. I'm asking you, is it not the same people that went to West Point that is bringing the ship called Mercy and bringing it into New York to relieve pressure on the hospitals? And in Africa, what our army is doing is actually beating people to death. And you're telling me there is not something wrong with us? You're telling me we are normal? Is that what people are telling me? That somehow we are all okay? Your fellow soldiers elsewhere are building hospitals, handing out food as in Germany and all the rest of the places. And in Africa, our own soldiers that should be running around, getting hospitals ready and the roads and everything, you're busy killing people and beating them. You stay at home. People legitimately going to sell food because people don't have food store. You don't have electricity. There is no fridge. People don't have the money. So are you saying that you are now working for coronavirus? That you people and coronavirus and all of you are in the game together to kill Africans with hunger, to destroy everybody in Africa with hunger. Is that your plan? Because if that is not your plan, why are you beating people who are coming out? When you're a soldier, you're supposed to defend them. You're a policeman, you're supposed to defend. These are the people you're supposed to go and talk to them and say, oh, where are you going to? I'm going to sell food. Okay, go if you're going to sell food. But make sure you observe the 2 meters or whatever it's called. Where do you want them to get food to eat? Do you see how callous, cold, and heartless people are? Do you see? I keep saying it. This is why God doesn't love Africa. And I'm saying to Biafrans tonight, if this is the mindset we have, the mentality of the zoo, of all these useless African countries, killing innocent people for no reason, because they're looking for food to eat. If that is the type of Biafra we're going into, then God will not give us Biafra. I'm telling you the truth. If you think Biafra is going to be another useless African country, then you're dreaming. You are dreaming, because it can never be. There, the soldiers will take care of. Your job as a soldier is to defend the country from external aggression. That is your job. Not to meddle in checkpoints, not to go and be looking for people to kill. That is not your job. As a policeman, your job is to ensure the security and the safety of the people. Somebody is outside. Ask him or her, why are you outside? I am going to hospital to see my grandmother. Nobody to take food to her. How can you beat such a person? Are you insane? So you want the woman in the hospital to die? I don't know what God made these African men. I don't know the God that made them. I don't know the God that made these people. Why are we so wicked? Why are we so wicked to ourselves? It is horrific, barbaric, and uncalled for. All these killings. That is why you go to the market, you see a mob, they lynch people. They kill somebody for stealing bread because he's hungry. But the same politicians that made you, who as impoverished as you are, you be hailing him in his Prado as it's coming. You're hailing him. Why is it everything about us is upside down in Africa? Everything is upside down. In far more civilized countries, they kill the politician. The person that is stealing the bread, they make sure he or she has a job to go to. That is how human beings behave. That is how people with empathy and feeling behave towards one another. That is the type of Biafra we are seeking to build. I am not suffering myself, losing my parents, my men dying left, right, and center to come and build another useless country like the zoo you have. Never. It won't happen. These are the things you must understand and take it on board that there is something called public service. I saw these two videos that I actually saw of fumigation. I saw one in Indonesia. If you see the speed of the vehicle, some to try and post it somewhere, give it to Amaka to post. Amaka, you should post the one you actually have. Post it here, you will see. Look at what they're using share talks. You know, not even share talks. They're using what's it called? Gallon. But spraying it on the floor. I felt sorry for one. I didn't laugh. I felt sorry for them. Look at other places, how they're doing fumigation all over the place. Look at the zoo. And millions we are budgeted. And you come again, somebody will come from that. You say, oh, he deserves to be president again. Do you see how sick people are? So I'm asking, and I'm saying this to Biafrans all over the world tonight. If we have the same mentality as other African nations, we will not succeed. That is why I am as hard as I am on Biafran people as well as onto those who are misbehaving. I want us to learn to be self-critical, to be able to absorb criticism and be able to act on what is right. Good counsel and good advice. That is how we are going to build a phenomenally powerful nation in Africa. We are going to be open and very transparent. Very, very open. Nothing should be hidden. You see the way, you see how wicked in Kenya they killed somebody, in Ghana they killed somebody, in South Africa they killed somebody. Who are the how many people have been shot in America by American police or American army? How many people in the UK? How many in Italy have been killed? But only in Africa. I don't know. Once they put on that uniform, they turn into a demon. A demon. And they say, oh, he's a major general. He served his country. He was busy brutalizing innocent people. And when they see Boko Haram, they run. For once, I was actually happy that Boko Haram was killing them today. Because I can't believe that against an army well equipped, you run away from battlefield. And because crying like a baby, oh, we don't have weapons. What weapons are you using to be shooting innocent people on the road? What weapons are you using then? I'm asking you. Biafrans, please, we cannot be like these African countries. We cannot be. We cannot have the typical mentality of a black person who is full of wickedness, of hatred for himself. That is why you will go outside and you will see a woman and you will beat her into a coma in Abuja. She has children. She has mouths to feed. She's a mother. Her natural instinct is to find food for those babies. And now she's in a hospital with a brain injury. Who caused it? Police. Now I keep asking people, of what need is Nigeria then? What? All of you, after beating them all, splitting their skull, tomorrow you hear them write about Nigeria. Hey, let's hope this country gets better. You know it can never get better. You know that very well. How can these people be subjecting innocent people with hungry children to such very, very shameful treatment? I said it. I concluded that very piece by saying that when other people around the world say that Africans are very evil, they call us monkeys, Africans are bad, is because of the wickedness they see in us. We are very wicked. As they see us, you say, how can somebody take the money meant for his people? You go to Dubai, you buy houses. You go to America, you buy houses. You go to Europe, you buy houses. And there is no, your constituents don't have anywhere to stay. Anyway, I don't blame the politicians. I actually blame the people. If there's ever going to be a revolution, the time is now, actually. It's now. Because this thing, you see what is going to happen. There will be a revolution. And I hope that they summon the courage to fight those who are meant to be fought, the corrupt politicians. And let me remind the army and the police in the zoo, you people do not want to be on the wrong side of history. That Russia is moving forward today was because the Communist Party, when they were dying away, asked the army to shoot at the people. The army said no, because the army came, they are Russians. But let me tell you why I know that the zoo must divide. Because what they do is that they send the Fulani to Biafra land. They send one or two Biafran commanders to go to the west and send the west to go. So once the order comes, open fire, because they're not your people. But any day you have a police commissioner from Anambra, an Anambra man from Nnewi, as Anambra police commissioner, oh, come on, tell me now. Is he going to open fire on his own people? The answer is no. He will dialogue. Do you see common sense? He will dialogue. That was something that the British did to us. Is their plan. Take somebody from Zamfara. Take him to Ogun. Take somebody from Ogun to Cross River. Once the order comes from above, which is Abuja, order, open fire now. They start to open fire because the uncle is not there, the brother is not there. His name is Adekunle. The person he's killing is Onyebuchi. So what's his business? Do you understand the way these things work? That is why Biafra has to be different and must be very, very different. I am asking food retailers. Let it be known to everybody selling food in Biafra land, you cannot inflate your prices. We would ask the governors to allow you to sell your food because food is essential at this very time. I mean, I wasn't happy when I saw the picture of people's wares being destroyed. It's not good. And we're also saying to our people, do not destroy anything, please. Do not destroy anything that belongs to our people. Do not, please, I'm begging you, destroy anything. Allow our people, please, allow our people to do that which is right, which is to sell their wares. As I said earlier, Facebook have actually shut down Radio Biafra, this very live transmission, because we are hitting them hard, telling them the truth. But we must go back. We must restart on Radio Biafra, and we must go back. We must return to continue this very broadcast this very day. Very, very critical, very, very important. We are live and we are direct. I've not even gone to Jubilee. The time now is 15 minutes past 8 in the evening. The same number of minutes past the top of the hour, wherever you are. Wherever you are, we are live here. Somebody said, I'm off air. Somebody said, you are off air 7:53. So I've been talking all this while. Somebody said I am off air. That's on Radio Biafra. We are back now on Radio Biafra. Let me also check where else we may be off and make sure that we are okay. I want to the one, my page is still going. My page is still going. Nnamdi Kanu. Facebook say I have, is it how many followers? 180 something thousand followers, which is peanuts anyway, which is nothing. Before we grew exponentially, we were more than that, but it is how they are. They will never ever succeed. We are back again on Radio Biafra. As I told you, it is Yoruba. They're the ones doing it. They work for Facebook in Abuja and in Lagos. They're the ones doing it. Fulani will give them money, they will do it. And when Fulani kills them, they'll tell you about we want to restructure Nigeria. One minute they want to be Nigeria, the next one they want to restructure. They don't know what they want. I'm very sorry to say this, but it is the truth. I speak the truth. I don't give a damn who gets upset. I tell you the truth. Because here we are consistently consistent. We do not change. I am warning our food retailers, please, do not inflate any price. We are all in this together. Do not, please. Very, very important. Do not inflate any price. I understand the law of demand and supply, and believe me, I am a capitalist. I want market forces to rule and to determine to set price. I know, but we are in a state of war. As I said, in a state of war, you cannot charge what the market says you should charge. You shouldn't do that. Not at all. Not at all. We are live and we are direct. And ordinary Rwanda that came up yesterday gave food to their people. Ordinary Rwanda gave food to their people. But in the zoo called Nigeria, they said, we have the oil and we have the gas. They said we cannot be part of what they're doing. And the likes of, is it Innocent, gave them money. This Innocent is to provoke also. Innocent is trying to provoke me, honestly speaking. Innocent has come again. After fighting for you, so they didn't disgrace you, you went and donated armored personnel carriers to the army. We forgot about it. Now you have come again. This money you could have used. Don't give to IPOB. I'm not asking you to give me. This money you could have used to go and establish a testing center in Oka or in Onisha. You have given it to the federal government of the zoo. And now, as always, they've forgotten about us. Emeka gave them 12 billion, but Emeka was raised as a Fulani man. So I don't count him. He's not one of us. He's not a Biafran. He's not Igbo. So he's not. As I said before, some of you don't know his history. He was with those they used as an experiment after the war. He was a template for them. They wanted to kill every child up until the age of 10, force them to speak Hausa, indoctrinate them and raise them. He was one of the victims of that very policy. That is why he's the way he is. You can't change him. You cannot change him. These are useless people donating billions. These are Biafrans donating billions. And isn't it very funny? As they were mentioning all the multi-trillionaires and billionaires, there was nobody from Biafra land, none from South, the so-called, none from Southeast. None. They had Alakija. They had Elumelu who worked for his money. I think it was Zenith Bank. He worked for his money. The rest are all oil money and gas. They were mentioning Alakija, Otedola, Dangote. These are people, billionaires, from what God gave Biafran people. But for them to have access to the oil and gas in Biafra land, they cleverly divided us into Southeast and South, Igbo and Niger Delta. That's all. That's all they did. Very simple maths, very neat and simple. And we all fell for that rubbish. I'm from Ikwere. I'm not Igbo. I'm from Anioma. Your name is Anioma. Anioma. Good land in Igbo language. But I'm not Igbo. We are from Akaraka, from Jukun. Mad, insane people. And meanwhile, they're taking oil and gas. That is why you have a multi-billionaire, Alakeja, they are with the presidency. And I'm asking them, who from your so-called Niger Delta is an oil billionaire with the presidency? Gallivanting all over the place. Zero. Instead, your pipeline security guard. Shame on all of us. I don't blame them. I also blame the leadership. The Igbo leadership after the war is also to blame. 70%. Because as the first son, it is your responsibility to go and look for your brothers. Nothing stopped them, Ohaneze, after the war, from going to see the Obama of Calabar, from going to see the neighbor of Okreka to say, let bygone be bygone, we are one people, look at our culture, look at the way your dress is, the way I'm dressed, forget about the language differences, we are one people. They never did it. I was one, in 1999, I started it. I went to what's the place in, where you have Hotel Chester is on the other side. It's Ogunabali. It's Ogunabali, isn't it? It's Ogunabali, isn't it? Along Aba Road, Ogunabali, yes, at Atlari Junction. I went there. No, not Atlari. Oh, Dad, I know somebody who knows you. Watch out, should tell me, please. Ogunabali, I think. Yes, Ogunabali. I went there. From where you go to Transamade, you know the old Hotel Chester is that road. From there you enter. I went there to the village to go and see the traditional ruler. Then the village. I saw him. He looked at me. He said, "My son, I accept what you're saying, but where is your father? Or where are your fathers? They should be the one to undertake this. I did in 1999. When I see idiots, upper Benue Congress, side Benue, side River Valley of Benue, I laugh at the idiots. In 1999, I was at. Somebody should give me the name. I'm looking for it. I want the name. Where you have to hotel tested is that junction you go to Transamadi along Aba Road, please. After Water Lines, if you're going inside the town, after Water Lines, the next junction, what is it called, please? I went there. The man said, with all due respect, my son, I expect you to be accompanied by your fathers, not you coming alone here to speak to us. We are waiting for them. Till today, they've not done it. South and Southeast, Southeast governors, South governors. I look at them. They keep taking our oil. Now, with our own money, look at the level of impunity and disgrace. The level of impunity and disgrace. They say the network is very bad, very bad. People are complaining that the network is bad. Please, you go to my page. I believe that my page is far more stable. If you're having difficulties, please go to Nnamdi Kanu. That's the page there. That's far more stable. It appears. Please. I make call for 12 billion, so they will like him. Is that 12 billion going to come to Anambra? The answer is no. But tomorrow you come to the village. You come there with the disturbing Barrister Joffa in the village. And say you are whatever stupid tattoo they gave him. We'll get hold of you. And then you will know. Mad people. And now we have come to Abba Kyari because we need to round up within 2 hours, isn't it? Yes. Abba Kyari. I told you that they are liars, and liars they are. They said, oh, Abba Kyari is in Bagulada Center. We free him by air ambulance. You know, Zulu journalism. If you give them money, and if you tell them now, give them 5,600 and say, right, that Satan is good. Satan is coming tomorrow. Let's worship Satan. Exactly what you want to write for you. Satan is good. So says so person. They gave them money and said, Abba Kyari, we are now flying him from Gwagwalada to Lagos. And the media rushed and wrote, Abba Kyari flown to Lagos. Everybody, hey, he's in Lagos. Nnamdi Kanu said he's in Cuba, he's in Lagos. And I'm saying to them, Boris Johnson is sick, you can see him. All those who are sick from coronavirus, you can see them. Prince Charles, you can see him. He's suffering from corona. Even the voice of the Queen, you can hear it. Who is this man? The aircraft we did not see, where he took off from nowhere. When he's landed, even if he landed and you wheeled him into an ambulance, nothing. And 200 million people lapped it up. Yeah, he's in Lagos now. If you ask them, how do you know he's in Lagos? They said he's in Lagos. They said. And when we present all the facts and the evidence, they still will not seem to grasp it. I said to somebody who called me today, I said to him, do you know the distance from here to the sun? He said he doesn't know. I said you can find it on Google or find it on YouTube. I think it's roughly about 50 million kilometers or 50 million miles, one of those. I think 50 million. I said, anyone been to the sun before? He said no. I said, if it is in Africa, if you say to an African man as an astrophysicist, you say, I have calculated the distance from here to the sun, it's about 50 miles. No, sorry, 50 million miles. You know what an African will say to you? How do you know? You've not been there. How do you know? You say, this is how we measure it. The light from the sun travels at a very phenomenal speed of, I think it's 300 and something thousand miles per second or so. Yeah, about 360,000 miles per second, the speed of light. So we've calculated the time it will take light to leave the surface of the sun to get to the earth. And moreover, we have observatories, we have satellites, and we have laboratories with somewhere in space calculating the photon, the speed of the photon as it's traveling through space. You say, oh no, I don't agree. Oh. You've not been there. How can you know? You have laid bare for him the physics behind it. He will still tell you, no, I don't believe you. Until you go to the sun, you cannot know how far it is. That is how Africans debate. And that is why we are backwards. That is why we have no light. That is why we go outside and they beat us. You have given somebody every shred of evidence. He's saying, oh, because the newspaper said he's in Lagos. Now he's in Lagos. And luckily for us, the Lagos State Health Commissioner, you know what he said? I don't know where Abba Kyari is. They said he went to Lagos. He is in the care of the Lagos State. And the people wake up every day and say, I'm a Nigerian. I believe in the federal government of Nigeria. They lie. Do you know one thing about civilized societies? Once you lie once, they will never believe you again. If you're a witness in a court of law, not in the zoo, of course, and under cross-examination, you consider you've lied before, your testimony is finished. Everything you're saying is a lie. Now, these people, because they lie to you, once they lie to you, they pay the media, they pay some of their Yoruba friends, they pay their irats, and they come and they say, oh, it's true. You say it is true. Luckily for us, they said the man went to Lagos. We have now asked the Lagos State Commissioner for Health. What did he say? I don't know Abba Kyari's whereabouts. I don't know where he is. And you're telling me that this is the government to give 1 billion to spend for you. A government that lies. Every blessed day they are lying. Every day they are lying to you. And you want to run a government based on lies. Shame on all of them. Shame on all of them. The world knows that Nigeria has no government. As I keep saying all the time, if you understand diplomatic language, please go and read the tweet from Ambassador Campbell. Read it over and over and over and over again. You will understand it. That Nigeria has no government. Because the head of government is actually Abba Kyari, who is the de facto president, and he is incapacitated in Cuba with coronavirus. That is why they lied to you that they flew him from Baghdad to Lagos. They lied to you. Ask them for the pictures. We have seen Boris Johnson. He has corona. We've seen him. Where is this one? Nobody can see him. Imagine an ordinary chief of staff issuing a press statement is in his own right. Have you ever heard of anywhere in the world where a lowly ranked officer like chief of staff, now they'll say, oh, he's very high, he's chief of staff. No, because in Nigeria, Buhari is dead and he took over. That's why he has prominence. If I ask you, okay, who was the chief of staff now under Jonathan, without going to Google, will you know? But forever, if you ask me who's the chief of staff under Buhari, they'll tell you it is Abba Kyari. His prominence owes to the fact that Buhari is no more, and he knows where all the skeletons are buried. Simple logic, simple common sense. Some of you cannot get it due to fear. And your fear does not benefit you. After being afraid, even if you go out to eat, they'll still knock you on the head and crack your skull open. So it's about time to stop being afraid so that the revolution can begin. I know some people want us to be part of what they are planning, but no. We want to get our Biafra and move on from there. They keep lying to you, and you keep accepting it. And that is why you are in one almighty mess. One almighty mess. And as a result, that is why they're destroying food. Women who, I've said it before, please, the army and the police, stop destroying the food. People are hungry. If you keep destroying the food and people cannot eat, there'll be a revolution. I see you in a uniform, you'll be killed. That's what happens in a revolution. That gun, maybe you're holding maybe about 50 rounds. You fight and it will finish. Maybe you can kill 10 or 15 people, but the rest will descend on you. They will tear your flesh with their bare hands. That's what happens in a revolution when people are angry. France is a republic. France could have been like Britain today. Marie Antoinette, who was the queen, said they said to her that the people are hungry. They said to her with them, they want bread. Oh, she sarcastically said, oh, why don't you give them cake if they want bread? Hunger can drive men to do what is irrational. I'm telling you, stop destroying the food in the market. Please, I am asking you and I'm begging you to be, because these are very difficult times. People will need to eat. Very, very important. They cannot feed the people. They cannot protect the people. but they only torment, destroy food, and kill. That is mindless, corrupt Fulani government at its very best. That's what they're doing. But some of you cannot see it because you are blind. You are blind. In Biafra land, we are going to run a country that provides social welfare to its citizens, especially at times like this. Countries that are providing for the citizens are not brutalizing them. Only African, backward, primitive countries are doing so. This nonsense must stop, and stop with immediate effect. Must stop. Very, very important place. Every other country is evacuating their people. They are not evacuating their people from Ghana. They are not evacuating their people from Ethiopia. They are not evacuating their people from Uganda. They are not evacuating their people from Kenya. They are not evacuating their people from Zambia. They are not evacuating their people from South Africa. Why are they evacuating from Nigeria? Because they know there is no health system in Nigeria. They know that when the prediction of Bill Gates starts happening, that their citizens will die. All of them took them out. And you're not asking questions. Tomorrow there'll be another Photoshop. Oh, Buhari showing you how to cut, how to choose chewing stick. Tomorrow. Somebody is showing you how to wash hand on a still photograph. Picture, ordinary photo. Picture. If you want to show me how to, if you want to show me how to wash hands properly, won't you be able, are you not going to do that in a video so I can see how long you've washed your hands and how well you've washed it? See where all the soap, the lather from the soap, where it got to. Isn't that how it's supposed to be? This one showed you two photographs in the top of a nightclub, in the basement of a hotel in Havana, in Cuba. And they say, hey, he's washing hands. He's showing us. How is he showing us how to wash hands? If these are still, am I making any sense? These are still photographs. These are still photographs. You're showing me how to wash hands. It's just like somebody telling you, oh, I want to show you how to slice okazi. You know, it's my favorite soup. I want to show you how to slice okazi. And you sent me a picture of holding a knife over okazi, or a few leaves of okazi you're holding in your hand. How can I know how you're going to cut it? Is that not common sense? But Femi Adesina, the master forger, master forger, he will forge picture and show you, you accept it. And they say presidency said, federal government is like this, with grace upon crisis every blessed day. The people they claim, the person they claim is your president, Jubril, that they're calling Buhari, you can't see him. I'll go to the video that they show. I'll get to the video that they shot later on and tell you how they intend to be confusing all of you. It is my submission this evening that if this disease takes hold in America, there'll be a problem. That is why, no matter how primitive these people are, we must take social distancing and every measure to stay alive, please. Very, very important. Very, very important. This is a biological weapon. I saw it on a movie. That's what is driving me insane. Nobody told me. I saw it. Somebody sent me the link and I saw it. I couldn't believe it. They called it COVID-19. It's a biological weapon. It will kill people with. And exactly, I don't know. They said the movie is in 2015. I don't know. And that's what's happening in 2020. I was shocked. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And what are we doing? They say sit at home, lockdown, ordered by the president. Presidency is there, no. Presidency, any tomatoes, no. Presidency, any onions, no. But you, the presidency, that are contributing billions, you have billions of dollars from the sale of oil and gas. Where is the money? You don't have any. Any food reserve, there is no food reserve. And people are dying every blessed day. Dying every blessed day. Every blessed day. People are dying and perishing. Do you know why people are perishing? Because you allowed them to mess up with you. There is a small bag, waterproof bag, they wrote COVID-19. Please, Amaka, can you post that video, please? A rapid emergency food response. COVID-19 is called. Inside the bag, you have one cup of cup of milk, 1 cup of gari, I think 2 cubes of sugar. You have what is that? You have rice, 3 of rice, and that is COVID-19. And now the idiot scamming, that's why they call you a scam, because they are scammer. The idiot doing this will tell you it costs 20,000. When I was in prison, they said it cost 20,000 to feed one prisoner. I used to, of course, IPOB used to feed me, and we feed many other people in the prison. But they collect 20,000 on my head every blessed day that they're feeding me, giving me special food, which is a lie. They are scammers. That is why they think everybody else is a thief. Fulani thinks everybody else is a thief like them. No, we are not. We are Biafrans. Our hands are very clean. Post that video, please. COVID-19 emergency food response. Rubbish. They collect money from people and, of course, from the sale of oil and gas, and nothing happened. Nothing ever happens anyway. Nothing ever happens. And after collecting all the money from the people, oh my, we have approved payment. We are now paying poorest families 5,000. In the afternoon, we are now paying poorest families 20,000. Their own news headline. Do you believe them? How many of them have received it? Is there any Biafran in receipt of 20,000 from the zoo? Is it not our money? That from the sale of oil and gas? That made all of them billionaires? Is it not our oil and gas? I am asking everybody, including those who stupidly call themselves Niger Delta, out of stupidity and ignorance. They are fools. Call yourself Niger, we South and Niger Delta. The more you divide, that is what Fulani wants. The more you divide, the more it is easier for them to penetrate and steal our resources and enslave us in the process. Yeah. Some are even asking me, imagine Almajiri asking me, can you send me some of the 50 million you pledged? Send me the money. It is audio money. Look at the idiots. So I will say to them, go to Nike layout. The money is there. It's actually, we have it actually in dollars. And in Naira, we have it cash. So that the police can go there and say, oh, we are doing raiding. It's a terrorist money. So they will take it. And then you see them in Abuja, they'll be laughing and smelling them, We told them to show us the money. As we showed them our transmitter, and they took it. Have you forgotten? They think we are foolish. If Biafrans will contribute money and then trust to me to fight for their freedom and to save them from this pestilence, and then I will, you think I am that stupid, I will come on air and say, this is the bank where the money is. This is the person that is holding the money. Do you see how foolish some useless black people are? Very useless. They can't reason at all. We are organizing our doctors, of course. We are doing that, and we have spoken to them, and we are waiting and preparing. And there are other local remedies we've been told. Once you have a problem, if they say you have a physician that will cure you in Ijebu, you will go. If they say, if it doesn't work there, they say, oh, you have one in Jalingo, you will go there. Anywhere they say you will get better, you will go and look for treatment. So people have been suggesting a lot of remedies for this COVID-19. And I suggest Ori. I think, isn't it? It's Ori, shea butter. So they said you put Ori on your hand, you put Ori around your nostrils, some in your nose. I know people can also drink not too much, just a tiny bit and put it on your tongue. That's what they said. It's for prevention, not for cure. Please, prevention, not for cure. Because apparently, Ori contains, which is shea butter, contains some antiviral substances. I don't know. That's what we've been told. I saw a lot of in the clip, but I saw a lot of Chinese people rushing it. So that is another additional protective measure you can apply in your house after washing your hands in the evening and of course taking a shower. That is another remedy you can actually apply to try and see if this thing can be kept at bay. Very, very important, please. And stop clapping for people who are making your life a misery. Most of the people you see online praising some of these corrupt governors and the criminals in Asorok, they are paid, they are hired, they're not even who you think they are. Go to their profile, you will see it. They are not who you think they are. They are just automatically computer-generated responses. Very, very important, please. Some of them write the same thing all the time. That's how they know they're not human, that they are automatically generated from a computer. Very, very important, please, that we pay attention to this. We pay attention. They are evacuating their citizens. We must be very, very vigilant, please. I must hastily proceed. There is also, I am going to discuss it with the doctors tomorrow. There is, some people say this is a cure. But when Trump said it, the big pharmaceutical companies didn't like him. They started to attack him. They used CNN, which is another organization set up by Lucifer, to attack Trump. But apparently, a doctor have come out to say that it works. Hydrochloroquine and azithromycin with zinc. I will discuss it with the doctors tomorrow. We need to have stocks of this so that once somebody shows the earliest signs, once they become symptomatic, once they show symptoms, we deploy these drugs. Hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, and zinc as well. So what they said is that zinc enables the absorption of azithromycin that makes it impossible for the virus to, those things, those tentacles it has on its head, to attaching to your lungs. Very, very important, please. And it works. This doctor said he used it in New York and it worked. They used it in New York and it worked. And some people are complaining, the big guys like Upjohns, like Smith Klein Beecham, like how the heavyweight, the Pfizer, Roche, all these heavy guys, they don't want it. This is their baby. They have made so much money with HIV. They think that this one will set them up and their families for life. Once they get the contract to supply these drugs, forever and ever they're made. So any local remedy that will cure you, they will tell you no, it doesn't work. I must tell you this. So let me repeat, please. Very, very important. A doctor used this. A doctor used this in France and it worked. They are using it on some patients in the USA, and those they've used it on, they have also recovered within 6 days. Within 6 days. A combination of hydroxychloroquine, and our doctors are aware of this anyway, azithromycin and zinc. What we're now going to discuss tomorrow is how to get it in enough large quantity so that anybody exhibiting a symptom will be able to place them on this very regime. Very, very important, please. Some scientists are saying because it is not proven and all the rest of it, but in a situation like this, anything that works, we are going to take. Some have put their hope on ginger and all the rest of it. I don't know how effective they've been so far, but what I do know is that this is what a medical doctor in New York said, treated over 600 people with it, and it worked. It worked because we don't have that much money. We don't have ICU units and all the rest, no hospital, no nothing. We cannot afford to allow our people to require ventilators because there's no. Please, we must do all we can to stop this very disease before it stops. Very important, please. Very, very important. And as the more these people come to try to tackle what we are doing, the more mistakes they make. The more mistakes they make, the more we expose them. As I was broadcasting, that was on Sunday. I said to Femi Adesina, I challenge you to show me a video. I said video. Go back to my broadcast. I said to Femi Adesina, I challenge you to show me a video. Show me a video of this setting that Jubril read out the speech on. And what they gave us was pictures. And I know it's pictures. So no, they will Photoshop it. Let me tell you something of a lawyer. You see, ask the zoo, Nigeria, or ask a rock a question. I already have the answer. But I asked that question to compel them to make a mistake, as they always do. Actually, they confirmed to me and to everybody who is discerning enough that Abba Kyari and Jubril are in Cuba. I have given you the name of the hotel. It's called Hotel Sevilla in Havana, in Cuba. I published it on my page. The pictures are there. I gave you the photos. That was why they quickly put together their rubbish. The next day, oh, can't you see? Jonathan was meeting Buhari there in 2015, and I laughed at them. You know why I laughed at them? Because I knew that was what they're going to do. And now we have them where we want them. To confirm, that is why you can never hear from Jubril again. You can not for some time. The version they have them too now. They have one in Asoro to be deceiving idiots. That one doesn't speak. Just on Ntamu and waving. Only to wave at people and to be murmuring. Like somebody lost in the wilderness. The other one, the main one that can read English so fast, is Jubril. And he is in Cuba. He is not in the zoo. That was why the stage managed out all that rubbish. I'm going to prove it to you tonight. Let us start by the second. The cabal, the Oluwole trained master forger, Femi Adesina, a forger. The Yoruba media are protecting him, but he is a master forger. He forges photographs. That's what he does. Stupid media assistant to the president. All he does is to forge pictures, and people see the pictures are forged. But let us move on now. We have heard from him. Let's move on. Even if it is recorded, let's move on. And these are the people voting in imbeciles into office. These are the people that sell the PVC for 3,000 naira. And now you're complaining about coronavirus. You're complaining of hunger. When I asked you to sit at home, you said no. I want to vote. It's my right. You have voted. Now it has come. You're them idiots to go and save you. That's why they're sending army to. You think they're stupid? They know. Once they give you that 1,000 naira, they buy your PVC. Any day you come out to complain, they send the army and police. They'll be cracking your skull with their baton and flogging you with koboko because you're stupid. They are telling you that you're stupid. And some of you are, to be honest with you. I'm starting this segment by showing to the world how stupid, dumb, and useless some people at the presidency are. They claim that Jonathan was here. Can't you see the picture? There was one that actually got from one of the fools that posted it. They gave him an Igbo name. What's his name again? Let me see his Igbo name. They said, can't you see his name is his name is what again? Greg Nwoko. He was born in Lagos. Efulefu. As I told you, that was born in Lagos, Abuja, Kanu or Kaduna. They used him because he has an Igbo name. So, and he's trying to counter Nnamdi Kanu so that be credibility. And they dug their grave by publishing the original picture of where Buhari, when he was still alive, was meeting in 15. We are going to dissect it, isn't it? Dissection, that's what we're going to do. To let the world, some of you dismiss, in any other part of the world, Abba Kyari will be arrested, tried for high treason, and publicly executed. But because he is chief of army staff, and some of you think that chief of army staff is a rank in the army. It is not. It's a political appointment. And he has no right to dismiss any serving general in the battlefield. Only the president has the right. But some of you don't know. Some wrote the paper. He has been removed by Abba Kyari, by what's his name? No, Tuko Buratai, the chief of army staff. Being a chief of army staff is a political appointment. Some of you are so dumb. It's untrue. So useless. If you go to university and you're on strike for 3 years, you come out, you graduate, you write your thesis. You go and be drinking toilet water as a youth copper. You come out and you're on Facebook writing rubbish. You don't know. Writing nonsense, you don't know. Let us dissect the zoo and bring their misery to an end. Segment by segment. Has anyone actually seen the video again of Jubril from Havana, Cuba? Ask yourself this simple question. If they have nothing to hide, why was it that the cameraman never panned to the left, to the right, up or down to show the surroundings where he was? Because all they had to do was to bring a white background, put that thing around the edge to tell it is in Asarok, that he was outside in Asarok. Can you believe such rubbish? That was why the cameraman only focused foul, very narrow angle, rectangle, very narrow. Never moved, never, not to the right, not as any news organization would do. After a while, they pan. But when they finished, they showed us picture of the entire place. Why can't you do that on a video? Now, do you understand? That all I want to stop is that they're lying to you. If you believe that they were lying to you, then I'm okay with it. I'm not saying if it is live or not. It is not live. That's number one. We can all tell. Secondly, it was not in Asarok. It was in Havana in Cuba. And I'm telling you the reason why it is in Havana in Cuba. Go and look at the frame. Go and watch that interview again. You will see it very clearly. They never showed you the ceiling or down, or right or left. They think we are stupid. The other one looks like the flag looks like the flag of maybe it's Lesotho. I don't know. That's all. Can't you see it's the army flag? Are the colors the same? Are the colors of the two flags, are they the same? The other flag is inside as a rock, and you're bringing something different from where did you get it from? Simple question. As they say, where we come from. You can tell when you're talking to a liar how they squirm and weave from place to place. Look at the Oluwole photos that Femi Adesina or the Master Forger released. All these pictures, they're in the public domain. That is what I will use to destroy them. When sensible people, as we are broadcasting, IPOB, Biafrans were online, saying, what is the porter doing there? They issued another photograph. Do you see how clever they are? Without the porter. Not knowing that their friend Greg Nwoko has already sent the one they were trying to counter me with the porter they are showing. That's how useless they are. See how useless they are? I stampede them into making mistakes. I said to them, Abba Kyari is not in Nigeria. If Abba Kyari is in Nigeria, I will stop broadcasting. Then, he has flown from Gwagwalada to Lagos. Which flight number? Which ambulance took him? Nobody knows. Okay, he's in Lagos now. The Lagos State government is taking care of him. Now, dear Lagos State Health, are you aware that Abba Kyari is here? The man said, no, he's only on WhatsApp by chatting. I don't know if he's here or not. And you're telling me that is a country? You're telling me Abba Kyari is not in charge? Maybe that's the only good thing about coronavirus. It has come. And it will expose the zoo. As long as Abba Kyari is on a ventilator, as long as, and mind you, also is Yemi Osibanjo. He's not well. I don't know how Yorubas forgot about their own brother. Please, Yoruba, Yemi Osibanjo, your brother, the vice president, he is not well. He has coronavirus. That's why you've not heard from him. He is not well. For your information, you know, some of them they say, Igbos, they like money. You have all collected money and you are now quiet. Your brother, Yemi Osibanjo, is sick with corona. That is why you cannot see. I like him, and God knows I'm praying for him. I don't know why I like the man. For some bizarre reason, I like him. I don't know why. I like Yemi Osibanjo. For some reason. Maybe that thing he did when Buhari went to London to go and die. That thing he did by going to people, talking to people, trying to reconcile, trying to bring people together. That was why I from that day I loved him. I was in prison. I said, this is a human being. He was going all over the place, trying to speaking in a language of somebody that has, common sense. Not minding that they have pigeonholed him into a corner somewhere. He's sick, please, and people should pray for him. He's sick. Yoruba can't ask after their own people. I don't know what is wrong with them. I have no idea. We have exposed them. Look at the pictures that they first released. All of a sudden, the picture has a wide angle, but in the video, it's only the face of Jubril. And that's where they killed themselves. I'm going to prove it to you tonight. That they have destroyed themselves from that same picture. Not the one, the picture Nnamdi Kanu released. I am going to use the picture that the Guardian newspaper published today. to carry their news, to destroy, to nail them finally, that Nigerians can see their stupidity staring them in the face. That's how dumb they are, some of them. That we circled everything, we showed them who is the potter hiding. Once I said who is the potter hiding, they changed it immediately. And they brought another Photoshop where there is nobody. No, they have now photoshopped out the potter. That's how useless they are. And you see how foolish they are? The place where they showed Jonathan and Buhari, listen carefully, please. It was a yellow wall, yellow. When they did their photoshopping, they added yellow walls as well, but in their stupidity and in their hopelessness. For the background was still white. They forgot that what they are using to enhance the place, that it will also show on the ceiling. In other words, part of the ceiling is yellow, part of the ceiling, the same place is white. There's no demarcation, nothing. Because they could not get the matching paint inside the basement of Havana Hotel in Cuba. So what they did, the closest paint they had, because they were in a hurry, was a white paint. They used it to do it on a board. Go and zoom in very carefully, sitting at the back of it. That's something. Zoom it, now you will see it. It's an answer rock. Can't you see Jonathan was there with Nnamdi Kanu is lying, it's fake news. But look at it. That's also blind. Something so obvious. Look at the picture they released with people wearing Ashebi, NTA on Ashebi, brown Ashebi, with matching face mask. Look at it. The wall is white. The surrounding walls are yellow. They'll tell you, oh no, we painted it white just for this occasion. Then you go to the ceiling. Just look up a little bit. You see the ceiling. The inside, that's a POP. Look at the POP. The two outer ledge of the POP is white. The inside one is yellow. So the paint ran out. As we are painting it white, the paint finished. You see how they're lying? Do you see their lies? And Nigerians swallow it, all because of this hatred for Biafra, all because you don't want Nnamdi Kanu to be proven right, all because you don't want IPOB to be proven. Look at it. I ask people again, that is not, look at it very well. The coat of arms is about to fall off, like something that Nnamdi is too big for it. Nnamdi did this and put it on the wall of the presidency. Look at the flag is about to fall down. The Nigerian flag is about to fall down. It's not even straight. It's that rock. And some of you bought this rubbish. Oh, he has spoken now. It doesn't matter. I said that is why you people are stupid. That is why you have bad governance. That is why you have government. That is why your life never ever improves. That is why you have no light. Or that people don't know the meaning of democracy. Democracy is that you hold people who are your rulers to account, not rulers, leaders to account. You don't know. That is why in the UK have question time. That is why in the US the president is forced to brief the nation almost every blessed day. Don't you know that? It is called holding public servants to account. That is the basic tenet of democracy. For goodness sake, black people. That is the meaning of it. You cannot have people lying to you on a daily basis, deceiving you. Is it amateurish Photoshop that they have done? Have they succeeded? The answer is no. The answer is no. This is how they fool themselves, and those of you that answer to the name, of course, you answer Nigeria, the name that Flora Shaw gave you. Nigerians, I'm trying to make you reason like human beings. I am helping you to reason. Because you are blind, you are fearful, you are deluded. That is why you never organize yourselves to have a mass or popular uprising or ever have a revolution. That's why my friend called for revolution. All of you are just there looking sheepishly. Now, the reason why that revolution was called has happened. There is now an emergency that requires the input of the government at every level, and there is total failure and collapse of the system of governance in the zoo. It doesn't touch you. You go outside to go and buy food and they're beating you. Do you now begin to follow what we are saying? Maybe now you can. They have caged you with fear. They use fear to cage you. Complete caging. That's why all of you are in a total mess. They say they have shut down the schools. I don't want to read what these are full. They are kleptomaniacs. How they steal money? They cannot stay without stealing. Lamode. Remember under Shagari regime, Ibrahim Taher. Remember a man called Omar Diko. These are arch looters, arch conk looters. Remember Abacha and the family. Remember Babangida, Abdul Salami. These are hardcore looters, heavyweight looters. And now they're still stealing. Let me tell you how foolish they are because Abakari is not around. Furthermore, I'm reading from their Minister of State. Furthermore, although schools are closed, I have instructed Jubril actually. Furthermore, although schools have closed, although schools have closed, I have instructed the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development to work with the state government in developing a strategy on how to sustain school feeding program. School have closed, but we are going to sustain school feeding program. Are you listening? Schools are closed, but we are going to sustain school feeding program without compromising our social distancing policies. And you're telling me these are human beings? No, seriously? Are you telling me that Nigerians who are listening to this rubbish that they're normal? Is that what you're telling me? Are they normal? No, I don't think they are. And when I say they say I'm insulting people. Anyway, if you believe that, you can believe that Abba Kyari was flown to Lagos on air ambulance. You can see them, the RNG photo from Greg Nwoko. And I'm saying to them, Greg Nwoko, look at the background where Jonathan was standing with Buhari, the late Buhari. Look at it very well. Is the background not yellow? Look at the picture to the left. Is it not yellow wall? To the right, is it not yellow wall? How come your own is white? Is yellow, right? But inside is what? You know what they will say to you? Oh, it's because of the light. So there is a light that turns yellow wall into white. Only in the zoo. And look at the floor. This shiny floor they are so foolish. Look at where Jonathan was standing in the old picture. You will see a step. In this floor here, is there any step? The answer is no. They have brought this shiny floor, which is the shiny floor of the basement hall at Havana, at Hotel Sevilla in Havana in Cuba. The same wall. They were so confused. When they were trying to Photoshop, they didn't know what to do. They said, okay, let's use the floor, but let's put mirror on it. So you're telling me there's a mirror on the floor of Asarok? There's a mirror on the floor that is reflecting everybody standing? Is that what you're telling me? So that even when women are dressed, people wearing a skirt, they can stand on a mirror. There's a place where perverts get women to stand on a mirror in Asarok. Is that what you're telling me? Are you people that stupid? Can't you see the floor? How it is gleaming? How it's gleaming? Reflecting everything. So it's mirror, isn't it? So in Asarok right now, there is a place where there is mirror on the floor. Are you people that stupid? Really? Nigerians? Are you that dumb? They said, this is Asarok years ago with Jonathan, with Buhari, busted as usual. Next propaganda, please. That's what they want. That's what they do. To confuse you. But I'm asking him, Greg Nwoko, if we live in Lagos, when did they put in a glass floor in Asarok? And when did the wall turn from yellow to white? And also, please, can you tell us when precisely? Or how did you bust us? Do you see how foolish they are? Cameramen wearing ashebi with hand glove in Asarok. With glass, with mirror. The floor is mirror. The step that Jonathan was standing on has just disappeared. It's called the more you look, the less you see. And they brought this idiot. And the one that is saying Greg Nwoko busted, in his picture that they gave, that Femi Adesina gave him, there is a hotel porter standing. You can see the hotel porter. And once we pointed it out, they quickly removed the picture immediately. But it was too late because Greg Nwoko had already published his own little one choncho propaganda. We are Biafrans, the most intelligent race, black race on this earth. You can't fool us. We are the most intelligent black race on this very earth. Look at the second picture that Femi Adesina issued. Now there is no more. Butter is gone. The other one. There's only one cameraman to confuse the gullible, but not IPOB and not us. Nigeria does not have a president. I'm telling you that. Secondly, Abba Kyari and his fellow cabals who have been packaging the impostor Jubril, he tested positive for coronavirus and they flew him to Havana in Cuba. I am telling you the name of the hotel where this nonsensical charade was stage managed to convince and confuse the gullible. That is the little picture that the master forger, Femi Adesina, thinks he doesn't know who he's up against. I am Nnamdi Kanu, all this nonsense. Once I see it, within 5 seconds, I point out all the flaws in it. The same way you went to Japan, you were photoshopping. You went to France, you were photoshopping. Jubilee was not there. You Photoshop. I said, they never start with a video. Never. No live video. It's always first pictures. And you have Alamajiri that they pay more Alamajiri. Hey, Baba, general at 21. A head of state has at 32. Another head of state at 51. They use it and because Fulani, they have beaten fear into you. So you no longer listen properly. Once you see it, there's, okay, it's from Asarok. Maybe it's true. And somebody will say, the broadcast is not live. It doesn't mean anything. Another one said, flag or no flag. But these are the signs that people are lying to you. You are being deceived. They say, Nnamdi Kanu, he insults people. Well, that is why I don't want to believe in what he's saying. I will insult you even more because you're useless. Very, very useless. Let me to please observe closely the color of the whiteboard Jubril is standing in front of. Is it the same color as the one that they said Jonathan and Buhari were parlaying in 2015? Is it the same? It's not. Look at the wall to the left is yellow, to the right is yellow. Only this one. If they say it is the light, how come the ceiling is half and half yellow, half white? The paint ran out. It's Photoshop. It is trying to lay over a white background on what is already brown. We have caught them once again. And tomorrow night they will say they painted, they will get the painter that painted the wall to come out. I painted it, it's white. It's about this, and I painted it. Ask them, this flag of Lesotho is a Burundi flag. I don't know this flag. They say it's Armed Forces flag. Bring out the one in Asarok, lay it side by side. Are they the same? The answer is no. They couldn't get the matching colors in Cuba. That's why they came up with this rubbish. People, they think that people are stupid. But of course, we are not stupid. We are not. Zoo people can be stupid, but not IPOB, not Biafrans at all. And as I said, please pray for Sibajo. He is sick with coronavirus. He is sick with it. There is something in Islam called taqiyya. Taqiyya means that you can deceive or confuse a Christian or an infidel, as long as that fulfills the purpose for which, in your mind or in your opinion, Allah wants. If deceiving every Nigerian that Buhari is alive an Islamic purpose, then they will do it. It's called taqiyya. Go and Google it. Taqiyya is called. A Muslim is allowed to lie. If you ask them, they'll tell you that after all, that when Abraham was with Sarah, that Abraham went somewhere and they asked him, he says, to Egypt actually, they said, is Sarah your wife? And he said no. So it's good to lie. That's what they will tell you. It's called taqiyya. Some spell it T-A-K-K-I-Y-A, some T-A-Q-Q-I-Y-A, some T-A-Q-I-Y-A, some T-A-K-Y-I-A. It depends. Taqiyya is called. It's Islamic code for deceive the infidel. And that's what they're doing to all of you. Deceiving all you infidels. To them, they think they are smart. And again, he has brought another picture. Buhari showing you how to wash hands. In a still photograph. Mr. Photoshop Femi Adesina. Is this the visitor's toilet in Asarok? I'm asking him. Or is it the toilet in a nightclub in Hotel Sevilla in Cuba? This very picture. Is this are you telling me there's any president anywhere? Even the wash hand basin I have in my house, even in the village, is bigger than this one. Which president in the world? Oh my, I don't know why Chukwu Kikabiam is making, I don't know why he put us in a zoo, making our difficult to understand it. When you want to show people how to wash hands properly, you do it via a video, don't you? But we know that some morons, Femi Adesina is afraid of moving pictures because with video you cannot lie easily. You can record it and ship it. But if it is live, I'm broadcasting live. I can tell you the time now. The time now is exactly 12 minutes past 9 p.m. Check your clock anywhere in the world where you are. It is 12 minutes past the top of the hour. Anywhere you are, if it's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 in the morning, 6 in the evening, it is 12 minutes past. The long hand on the clock, that's how you know I'm live. I cannot do it because they touch this buffoon for many days before they unleash him on the hapless, useless Nigerians. My concern is and Femi Adesina should go back to Oluwole. Some of you don't know, Oluwole is why they forge certificates in Lagos. In those days, that's where you go, you learn how to forge. That man is a master forger, but he's doing a very poor job of it. He is doing a very poor job of it. Abba Kyari tested positive and ran away and left all of you in the zoo. After squandering all the money that should have equipped as a rock clinic. And there are the people fighting corruption. And all of you are following them. They're fighting corruption. But these are the people. They are fighting corruption. You claim they are fighting corruption. We are fighting corruption. But where is the money that belongs to us or rock? You've been collecting since 2015. People are uselessly and foolishly giving. People are giving them money. Very, very terrible indeed. Very, very terrible indeed. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And now let me also, some of you, I put up a picture on my wall and I asked you to tell me who it is. Of course, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. But because some of you know, it's him. If you hadn't known it was Cristiano Ronaldo, would identify him, the answer is no. Is to tell you that people can change. Wear a face mask and look like somebody they're not. Please, I know the first part, I've forgotten his name. I need the name of the hospital in your place, please, so that 100,000 naira will be given to them. I need the name of the hospital. Not when I give it to them, you can't start harassing them to give you a percentage, please. It is for coronavirus to help alleviate the people that may present with the symptoms in your village or in your community, please. And I want it posted. It's been written everywhere. Look at that picture of Cristiano Ronaldo. Look around the eyes. That's how you know when somebody's wearing a latex mask. Latex, rubber mask to look like somebody else, a mold. Look at the eyes, you will tell the eyes. And I ask everybody to look at the eyes of Jubril, that he is wearing a Buhari mask. He is wearing a Buhari mask. They were in a hurry. Look at the eyebrows of the mask. It is on top of his natural eyebrows that is below. Look at it very well. And let me tell you, don't take my word for it. Go to today's is online. I want to advertise Guardian newspaper. Go to Guardian newspaper online and type in Nigeria government begins distribution of 20,000 relief to fund. Nigeria government begins distribution of 20,000 naira relief fund to homes, which is a lie. Another lie. This was carried by Guardian newspaper, which is an arch establishment paper in the zoo. Do you know why I wanted to go and look at it? Look at the picture of Jubril. Those people are very wicked though. Guardian. Look at the picture and I want it everywhere, please. Look at the picture of Jubril on the front page of Guardian newspaper. That the headline says, Nigeria government begins distribution of relief for homes. Look at the picture. And you look at the neck of the picture. You will see where the rubber, the latex rubber, you see it on his neck. you will see something like a hole on his neck. It is not a hole. It is because they did not wear the shoulder one. They are wearing the one that stops on the neck. And unfortunately for them, his collar could not cover it. Unfortunately for Jubril, the collar of the shirt he's wearing could not cover with the end. You know, when you're putting on a rubber mask, the end of it is on the neck. Look at it. Not from Nnamdi Kanu. Look at it from Guardian newspaper of Nigeria. And that tells you all you need to know. He was wearing a face mask, pretending to be Buhari. You can see it there. You can see, unless you are blind, you can see it. I'm saying the one from Guardian, not from any other source, from Guardian newspaper. Look at the neck. You will, my dear people, you will see it. It's like a wrinkle. There's a hole in his neck. A hole. A hole in his neck. What is that hole? It is not a medical condition. That hole you're looking at there is the end of the rubber, the latex rubber. He is wearing a facial mask. That was why I sent the poser with Cristiano Ronaldo to let you understand how easy this can be, how easily it can be done. And that is what Abakari has been doing. But he doesn't trust anybody to do it. That was why he ordered that Jubril should go with him to Cuba, so they won't mess up. They left another lookalike in Asarok. That one only waves, he doesn't talk. This is how they give you Buhari, of different shapes, different sizes, different heights, different... There's a brand new Buhari. This is what they're doing. This is Jubril, the main one, the one in Cuba. Now you understand this. Look at it. It's from Guardian newspaper. I want to ask any Yoruba man, all those imbeciles working for Fulani Caliphate in Yoruba newspapers and media houses. I want to ask all of you, look at the neck. Don't take my pictures. No. Go to Guardian newspaper. Ask Guardian, where did you get this picture? Guardian will tell you, we got it from the audio message from Cuba. Is there. Look at his neck. It is open. He is wearing a face mask. He is not the one he breathed with. He is wearing a rubber mask with the face of Buhari. Look at us. You will know. That was why the cameraman during the address of Jubilee was standing very far. They don't want to come very close because when you sweat, it starts to get very slippery. That is why he doesn't stay outside for long, because he's wearing a mask. Because if he stays outside for long, he will start sweating on the inside. And the mask will start slipping. Now, do you understand it? Do you see the trick they're playing on people? I can be anybody that I want to be. I can look like Cristiano Ronaldo if I want to. I get his face, I mold it, and I wear it. You will not know. This is what they are doing to you useless, hopeless Nigerians. But I feel sorry for all of you calling yourself Nigerians. Nnamdi Kanu wants to leave it, and maybe it's in 2023 they will go. It will be turn of we Yoruba people. Because of that, you sacrifice the truth. This is for all those that congratulated Buhari. This is for all those who said, oh, the president has spoken. This is your president wearing a rubber face mask. Look at it here. Look at the neck. And I'm not going to rest until every government of the world gets this. I will keep pursuing them and they'll keep making mistakes IPA will be over from them. I gonna every day we pursue them. Every day. Forget all the nonsense. Oh, we are in Corona. Don't, sir, please. You are not deviating. Constitution Biafra. Shut up. There are many ways to destroy a building. Either you go to the foundation, stand up from the roof. We are chasing them from the top and also from the foundation. This is the foundation of the zoo. This lie is what will destroy the zoo. They will do anything to cover it up. But I want to let the Yoruba people understand that the person they are calling Buhari is Jubril. I want them to understand, every Nigerian, that I'm always right. Always. If I make a mistake, I admit it. I will always right on this Jubril. Look at his neck. I want everybody to put this picture on their... No, please, don't save it. But keep sharing it. Because if you put it there now, who knows? They'll go and tell Americans that, can't you see they love him? They love Buhari. So we keep publishing, we keep pointing out, look at the neck. Is he not breathing from the neck? Is he breathing from the neck? It is the hole caused by the latex rubber that he's wearing. Evil people everywhere. And look at the proper picture. There's some. Look at the other one. The picture of a young bobo. They say is an 80-year-old. I can't understand people from the zoo. I don't understand them, honestly speaking. I don't understand it. Everywhere. Little picture of the late Buhari. Look at how wrinkles scattered his face. You can see it clearly. You can see it. He was emaciated. Look at him. Hey, he's Buhari, but he looks younger than your own brother, your uncle. That is 51 years old. This man looks older. No, he's leave it now, leave it. It's how God wants them. And now there's coronavirus, and you want government to feed you. That's why when you guys said they know, because you're stupid. That's why police is beating you, knocking your head, flogging you, koboko. All of you, because you're stupid. You have refused to learn. God has made Nigerians blind. That is why this devastating death will envelope the zoo. Just watch and see. Just watch and see what is going to happen. They have sacked as General. He was a good general. Come back home, General. Who sacked him? Some of you don't know. It is not the duty of the Chief of Army Staff. He is an ordinary political appointee. He serves at the pleasure of the president. Some of you don't know this, do you? But you went to school, you graduated, you did youth service, you came out speaking grammar on social media that you don't know. Chief of Staff doesn't appoint generals or assign command. That is the duty of the commander-in-chief. But you wouldn't know that, would you? You wouldn't know. Or the operational command headquarters. It's not for Chief of Army Staff. I don't know these people, zoo people, Nigerians. And as we were saying before, all those that said Igbos are domineering, they dominate you, they do this to you. Remember people from Taraba State? They said during appointment. And these are people that want Nigerian unity. One Nigeria, let's move forward. Fulani is, a boa constrictor. You know this snake called boa. BOA, boa is conscripting everybody. That's a Fulani squeezing the life out of you. You're there thinking, well, maybe I want to go to sleep. They are squeezing the air out of you until it's too late. One day you open your door, you see Alamadri with dagger outside. They will cut the stomach of your pregnant wife open in front of you. Then your eyes will clear. You know that all your years of stupidity and of fighting IPOB was futile and fruitless. We were here to save you, but you chose death, and death will come to all of you. Mad people everywhere in the zoo. Look at the neck. Look at the neck of the man addressing you from Cuba. Look at the rubber face mask he's wearing of Buhari. Look at the neck. He's there from Guardian newspaper. Look at it. Unless you're blind. What's the name of that stupid girl from that Yoruba stupid tramp that used to work for Star Reporters? What's her name? Send that picture to her. That idiot. And ask her to explain the hole on Buhari's neck. Useless set of people. Always supporting evil. And that is why evil has found them. You don't know that God is doing a lot with COVID-19? I don't like it, but a lot is going to be revealed in the zoo. And they cannot come out of it. Never, never, never come out of it. This one, you'll see what is going to happen to them. Before we bring our program to a close this evening, I have a few special announcements to make pertaining to IPOB family in Lagos. I must make people understand this. No position in IPOB is permanent. You can be reassigned, you can be temporarily relieved of your position. That doesn't mean you won't come back later on. People don't understand this. You see Amarachi that is waxing very strong and doing excellently well. Some of you don't know that Amarachi was actually suspended from IPOB before. Suspended. Later brought back because of her loyalty and her devotion to her work. And promoted. So the fact that you're no longer somewhere doesn't mean you open up a fake account and start writing rubbish on Facebook. You must be very stupid. Sometimes it's a test. Do you think that I don't test some of you? Do you think that we are going to build a Biafra when people vote you out, you try and do a coup, or you try to snatch ballot box? God will punish you. Is that what you think? You serve at my pleasure. Any day I say you've done well enough, thank you very much, wait or rest a bit, you rest. You wait and you rest. The likes of Obi was a whole continental rep. One of our originators. I suspended him from IPOB. I stopped him from talking on Radio Biafra. That didn't stop him from calling me every two days. Every 2 days he used to call me. Despite his suspension. That was even before my trip. He was talking. BDB and North America rep. Some of you think that once you're removed or once you're suspended, that's the end of the world. It lets me know who you are. If Biafra needs people like you or not. Because every political appointment comes. Look at what's happening in the zoo. Somebody will be voted out and they will go to the Supreme Court and get result. Do you think that is going to happen in Biafra? Then you're sick in the head. All those idiots asking a national coordinator, state coordinator, oh, where is our money? Let me know who they are. So we expel them from IPOB. They know we are not. We are the 50 million is for people who are sick, for our doctors and our hospitals and our test center. It's not for you. It's not meant to be shared to people. What is wrong with our zoo? A special announcement relating to Lagos and the Western Zone entirely. Our brother from Isoko, his name is Ejiro Obagwo. He's from Isoko, but his name is Obodagwo. From Isoko. That says the Niger Delta, Mid Niger Delta, Upper Bendel, Middle Bendel, Delta, South, Niger Delta. His name is Obodagwo. He's from Isoko. Isoko are Igbo people. But we'll discuss that later. The thing, when I say we are related, it doesn't mean I want to come to your land and build a house. It's good for us to know that we are relatives, that's all. Ejiro Bodagwo is from Isoko. He's our new Lagos State coordinator. Pastor Jack is the head of media in Lagos. Pastor Jack is our head of media in Lagos. Our head of mobilization team is Ezewudo Titus. Ezewudo Titus. They call him Onyame. Doesn't mean he belongs to the army. Yes, his nickname. The deputy head of mobilization team is Ugochu. And I call him the lion himself. I like this guy very much. Tarinemi is the overall coordinator for the Western Zone, starting from Edo all the way to Lagos. He's on the owners of the name Biafra. Tarinemi is on. And James Eseni. The proposed District B, I think, is the senatorial coordinator for District B or C, depending. And he is the Lagos State Deputy Coordinator. James is the Lagos State Deputy Coordinator. He will also be a senatorial coordinator. Hardcore, when I mean hardcore to the core. I remember James Eseni at our cenotaph many years back. He came, took off his uniform. I won't tell you the part of the army he was in. Took off his uniform and started to cut grass at any Gatal cenotaph. Hardcore, if there was any. Hardcore, genuine. That's what I like. Tarinemi will oversee the entire Western Zone, and anything they say is what goes. Let nobody come to me and start their stupid, silly complaints. No. And I'm also personally reshuffling the Ladipo family unit as well, because we don't get anything from Lagos. If our people are contributing in Lagos, we have no idea. It doesn't come to the coffers of IPOB. It doesn't. What they do with our money, I have no idea. But I believe that these new officers will rejig, reorganize, and once again infuse our people to do that which is right. Our focus is Biafra. We're going to get it. That brings to conclusion our broadcast this very evening. If you've not taken anything away from here, go to Guardian publication, you will see it. Go to their Photoshop pictures, you will see it is there, facing the whole world. Their deceit, their lies, and their deception. The more they continue to lie, the more I will expose them. That is why we say without hesitation that Biafra is our religion. Biafra is religion. And when someone said they were shocked. They said, "Oh, we've not had it before." I said, "But write it down." Here on Radio Biafra, this very platform of truth is where we worship. Why do we worship here? Because only Chukwokika Biam Elohim Binigwe is our God, not man. I don't worship flesh. I serve only one eternal creator of everything that you serve. From me, from here, good evening.